Yes, everybody, welcome to the West Ham Network. Hope you are all safe and well, my friends. If you're new and then give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, give it a subscribe. We are in the final drubbings of the game. It's currently Leeds 2, West Ham United 2. West Ham United going in front at the beginning of the second half. Bizarre. And it's, oh, jeez, oh, saved by Fabianski. Oh, dear, literally in the last seconds. Great save from Fabianski. He's done 2 or 3 good saves in the last 10 minutes, unfortunately, which isn't great, where we could be easily pushing for the winner. It's a great save from Fabianski. Great save. So, yeah, not too long to go. It's just a corner kick to Leeds United. Dirty Leeds United. And that's being whipped in. Hopefully we keep this one out. Ben Rama knocks it up. And that's the end of the game. The end of the game. It finishes Leeds 2, West Ham United 2. Scamacca and Paqueta both scoring for West Ham. Rodrigo and Hanota scoring for Dirty Leeds. I think on reflection, I think a point was a good result for us. We should have won the game, to be perfectly honest. I think we had enough there to win that game. But a point is a point, and that stops a run of five consecutive Premier League losses, and now obviously we haven't got a Premier League loss now. So, strange game I think it was. Obviously, with everything around the recent passing of Mr. Gold as well, it was a bit of a strange game. Elsewhere, it's currently Forest's still 1-up against Southampton. That's full time. Sorry, it's Leeds. Leeds. That's it. It's Aston Villa 1, Wolves 1, and Palace are losing to Spurs 4-0. That keeps us. The equaliser from Villa means we're not in the bottom three. We're not in the bottom three, so we're 17th on goal difference ahead of Nottingham Forest. So we play in a couple of games' time. It's a bit like our own mini league coming up now. Obviously, we've got, apart from the FA Cup, we've got Wolves, Everton, and Nottingham Forest. I think Leeds have got Forest and Everton, and Southampton. So it's like a little mini league between sort of 7 teams at the moment down there, unfortunately, which is not where we want to be. But a point. Yeah, it's a point. It's something which we needed something. Again, defensive frailties. I mean, 2 good goals by Leeds. Both shots were taken good shots. The first goal was particularly good, well worked in the first half, and the second half a good shot by Rodrigo. Fabianski kept in the game as well. A couple of good saves at the end. Antonio could have won it if he was half a yard faster as well. Obviously, Scamacca got on the score sheet, which was good. Paqueta's first goal, penalty, which was good. I thought he grew into the game. Some attacking. Moyes clearly was going for the win. Bringing on Ben Rama, bringing on Downs as well. Quite a few substitutions, considering, where was that when we played Brentford? Where was those substitutions when we were losing to the Bees? Building confidence. That's exactly it. That's what this team needs. It needs confidence. And with Scamacca, what? No, I think the BBC website's got that wrong. The BBC website got that wrong. The BBC website, West Ham drop into the bottom 3, but they don't because Villa have equalised. Shows they don't know what they're doing. Let's bring in the gents. If they want to come in, they're more than welcome to.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
I think for me, when I look at it, and in a nutshell, it's stop the rot.
Yeah.
Immediately, it's the first thing I think of.
Yeah.
You want the 3 points. Everyone wants the 3 points at the end of the day. I'm disappointed because the way and their style of their second goal, the way that Rodrigo, the positioning of Fabianski, and we'll get into that in a minute, especially with yourself, Matt. But it stopped the rot. Avoid defeat. Avoid the 6th league defeat in a row. It's not ideal, but if we are going to be in this fight that we're in, that's what we need to do. Away to Leeds is always a tough fixture. And like you said, there are some positives to take from the game, mate. There are. But there's also things we've learned. A lot.
Very true. Very true. It's been, it was... I mean, it was a great game for the neutrals, they'll say, because it was feisty. There were some tackles going in. There was some, maybe a contentious one on Somerville. Maybe should have been sent off his tackle on Soufal. But it was a bit of a proper match. You know what I mean? Towards the end, it was getting tasty, and I like that. I like that bit of needle. Good to see.
Let's get into
Matt,
I think one of the things I want to talk about is the starting lineup, and one player in particular, Matt. We'll go to you, Thilo Kehrer at left back. It was a decision that Moyes made that he probably will never make ever again.
No. I'll be honest. Me and Russ before the game started, I said, Soufal's played left back a few times for us. Maybe they'll start that way, and if it doesn't work out, maybe we'll swap it. And you could see within like 3, 4, 5 minutes, it didn't work out.
Yeah.
And they quite openly targeted him for a considerable amount of time. Like everything just seemed to be coming down his side. He was making mistakes. At no point was he comfortable. It just did not work out. And in some ways, we had a bit of a favour when Soufal had to come off because actually at right back, at least defensively, he didn't look as bad.
Yeah,
he still looked shaky on the ball, and that's probably looks like he's lacking confidence.
Well, no wonder after that first half. I mean, if I read you his stats, mate, I mean, he's had 90 minutes, right? And I think I said this as well, like since his career at West Ham, since he's been here, he's played centre back, the right hand side of a back four centre back. He's played the right hand side of a back 3-5 centre back.
Yeah.
He's played the right hand side, right wing back of a back 5. He's played left back. And in this game, he played left back and right back. But he played the full 90 minutes. He only won 2 of his 7 attempts at ground duels. He only won 3 out of his 5 attempts at aerial duels. He lost the ball 17 times. And we saw this against Everton earlier in the season when Soufal was really struggling. And we saw Jared Bowen having to track back all the time, all game. That's all Jared Bowen had to do. And that really had a negative impact on Jared Bowen's game. But when you're a defender losing possession 17 times, then something's not working. And that's why probably, you won't experiment with that element again. I mean, only 61% pass success, pass completion rate. Thilo Kehrer, I think there's a player there. I think he's been a what's the word I'm looking for? A scapegoat for the situation that West Ham find themselves in with the injuries.
Well, it's certainly hard to get any sort of rhythm going, like you've said, when we played back 5s and back 4s. And apart from probably playing left centre back and centre back, he's played all the other positions.
Yeah.
And maybe the left wing back. He's played left wing back. He's played left back. He's played right back. He's played right side of a back 2, right side of a back 3. I think he's played left side of a back 2 as well. So it's hard for him. But I do feel like he got let down by Moyes because, like I said, there was the option quite openly that if Kehrer wasn't working, swap him and Soufal around. Because Soufal's played, especially some of the European games, he's played on that left-hand side. It was something they targeted, but, I mean, what, was it 2 minutes on the clock? Was it even 2 minutes when he made his first mistake?
Yeah, he
tried to pass it backwards. And it was almost reminiscent of like one of Everton's goals they conceded to Brighton last night. But Aguerd managed to get back and cover him. I don't want to sit here and be too negative because we actually scored 2 goals. We had somewhat of a good game. We actually gave it a go. Like you said, it was a good game for the neutral, and the fact that it was 2 teams that actually went at it. Neither team at any point really settled for a point.
I think the reason for addressing the Thilo Kehrer one is it's an experiment that didn't work, so now we learn from that, and that's what we don't do again. Like, we don't need to be doing that anymore now. We don't need to be experimenting to that level for me when it's not really necessarily needed. Maybe there was something we didn't see in training that West Ham and Moyes saw, but very quickly you could tell that wasn't going to be his day on that side. And like you said, it shot his confidence, and even when he went to the right back position, he did perform better, but it still wasn't essentially his day at the market. Aguerd, Russ, what's your thoughts on Aguerd?
I think you can see there's a player there. You can see there's a player there. We know there's a good player there. Particularly the first half, he covered for Thilo quite a lot on that left hand side. I mean, I think someone made a comment in the chat that actually neither goals came through the wings; it came through the centre. And I think he was almost like at times I thought again was almost like covering for Dawson. It wasn't Dawson's finest game. He got done by a no look pass for the first goal, and the second goal came down his side as well. I thought, for his first Premier League start, it was okay, but then he's a defender by trade, and they've conceded 2 goals, so there's always that issue. But yeah, I thought he grew into the game. He had a fucking awful header in the second half though, which he should have scored from. And he sort of, but yeah, he sort of he whimpered a little bit, I think. But
you could see he was struggling at the end. Like he's put up a cramp a couple of times, and
I think I was about to say, I think it's almost like we did a bit of the dark arts a little bit. We were not playing for time, but we knew that Leeds were pushing a little bit more, so we were happy to take the niggles. We were happy to take the fouls. We were happy to slow it down. I mean, Harrison coming on for there changed the game for them. He was awesome when he came on. Absolutely awesome.
I was worried when his name come up because I was like, I'm sure he's the guy that scored a hat-trick against us last year.
Yeah, he's a good player.
He did.
Good player.
I think the thing with Agard is, like you said, mate, he had a lot of covering to do defensively. I really can't pick a fault with him in terms of the goals. I mean, if you think about the first goal in particular, we were caught. The Dawson, I don't like doing it, but if you have to dissect it a little bit, he was caught ball watching.
He was.
Sefal, from my understanding, didn't have anyone else to mark except for the runner, and because Dawson was drawn with the player, it opened up that big gap, and then he got through. And the same with the second goal as well. He was caught ball watching again. He done really well. The player done so well to read Dawson sitting on his shoulder. I mean, in theory, Dawson would have had to have done that a couple of times, but by that point, the player was gone, got the ball, and smashed it into the back of the net. But Matt, you said, I mean, really, was it Fabianski's fault for his positioning? Because for me, it wasn't in the corner. It wasn't in the corner.
No. Like, I've said it so many times. I'm sick and tired of seeing him start. In the nicest way possible, he should not be starting anymore. He's not good enough. Like, I'm sorry, even on both goals. The first goal, he just watched it. He's like, oh, that's in the corner. I'm not getting that. Which I don't like, but I've seen Ben Foster talk about it, and he's like, keepers know. When it's in the corner, you just know that even if I dive, I might injure myself, but I'm not even going to get the ball. So it annoyed me, and I'm still thinking he should dive. But you know what? The goalkeepers say they know, so whatever. The second one is not even in the post. It's like 1.5 yards, 2 yards inside the post. He's not close. He's like outside the box. He should be saving it. I'm sorry. He should be saving that. And if it was at the other end, Meslier would have saved it. Like, Meslier saves that shot. Yes, he's come up and pulled a wonder save with almost the last kick of the game. But then it's like that. But that is what he's good at. Those close body reaction saves.
Yeah.
But it's no good being like that when then you can't do a normal save. It's normally you go for keepers like, oh, he's all right with normal saves, but he's great at reactions, or his reactions are poor, but he's good from distance. He's got the reaction, but he's got nothing else.
Yeah.
And like the later the game went on, his kicking then come into question of that we weren't winning the balls anymore, and half the time the balls weren't going to anyone. He was just pumping it up the pitch. We had Antonio on the pitch, and like literally after Paqueta and Fornals come off, I forgot Souček was still playing because the thing we were doing well up until the point that they both went was that goal kicks and defenders were going long, and Souček played really well today, and he was dominating balls.
He did.
But it's like
really
at that point, it's almost like because Fornals and Paqueta weren't there to give the energy to press high up the pitch, people started dropping a bit deeper. Fabianski just started, like, he wasn't targeting Souček anymore. He was just pumping it up, and Souček and Antonio are standing there, and the ball's gone 15 yards to the right of them.
Yeah,
he's not releasing.
I mean, Souček's obviously played today. He's been rested last week. He's came in and he's played further forward in the field, and he's kind of suited that today. And like you said, Matt, during the watch along, that maybe it's done him the world of good. Maybe it's shown him that you're not dead set in getting a start in the team. But when you do get a recall, this is what we need you to do. And he's in the game today. He's had 41 touches. He's had 56% pass completion. But that really wasn't his game today. His game was all about, he won 50% of his ground duels. He won nearly 60-70% of his aerial duels. He did lose possession 15 times, but he played further forward. He gained 3 fouls in the game. He had 1 clearance, 1 block shot. He made 3 successful tackles, 1 interception. So he did a good job. Did a good job what he had to do. And again, that maybe the Souček inclusion today allowed Paqueta to get involved.
Oh yeah, it was. It was weird, wasn't it? Like it's almost like he went back to that lockdown when we played the midfield 3, and it was Rice, Noble, and Souček, and Rice just sat, and then Noble sort of drifted about, and Souček made them late runs.
Yeah,
and it was like when we read the lineup today, you went, "Oh, there you go. He's going back to his 4-2-3-1, and Souček and Rice are going to sit, and Paqueta is going to drift." But actually, it was almost like Paqueta was still sitting alongside Rice.
Yep.
And Souček was almost playing as like a second centre forward at times.
Yeah.
It was
like
you go push up near a Scamacca, you've got the engine, you get up and down, get into a midfield 3, get forward into the centre forward position, but don't worry much about tracking back. Because Deck's going to sit and then Paqueta's going to do the passing about in the middle. And taking the responsibility of the passing off of Souček and shifting that onto Paqueta at a deeper position and saying to Souček, no, you just go win headers and help with the pressing and leave the passing to these two. It got the best out of Souček again, which everyone knows because he can't pass the ball. He's not good enough as a technical passer to do that position, but doing that position where late runs into the box, bullying defenders, covering distance and supporting up, you get the best out of him, which we did.
Yeah.
We
did.
It's a lot more positive today, even though we didn't win, than it's been in recent weeks because performance was there.
Yeah.
Barring
totally right.
awful mistake. We switched off for two goals.
Yeah. This is a really good point from Hammerhead, though.
Yeah.
Reasons why we are played better today. Souček played better today, and because Rice has been told to sit back and stay back, and I think that's true.
Well, he might as well.
I think that's
I've said to you guys before, he's not going to be doing. Look, I made a joke to you during the watch along that I think Rice scores about 1 in 50 long range shots. I think he had about 5 or 6 chances today, Rice, maybe 5 on the volley outside the box, and not a single one of them was on target. And we actually nearly scored from one of them in the first half because he hit the corner flag and Bowen kept it on the pitch, and Souček nearly got on the header from the cross at the end of it.
Yeah,
Rice isn't good enough. I'm sorry, he's not good enough. Yes, he can do those big, long busting runs on a counter attack to pass it off for someone else, but his final third play, as an attacking standpoint, isn't technically good enough to warrant him being the box-to-box guy. If he was if he had that late run heading ability that Souček found for those 18 months when we first signed him, and everyone was looking at him because it was like, oh, he's a big box-to-box guy, but he makes up runs in the box and scores. If Rice was doing that, you wouldn't mind it. But like we said at the start of last season, now Souček's sitting and Rice is getting forward more. Let's see how the goal tally swings. It didn't swing. You lost goals.
Yeah.
You didn't gain goals from making Souček play a position he doesn't like and letting Deck do what he wants. And if he goes to a Man City or a Liverpool, he's not going to be getting forward, Deck. They're signing him to sit in front of the back 2, almost make it a back 3, and let the other players go and play. So Moyes might say to him, you're only going to be here for 6 more months. Wherever you go, that is what you're going to do. I'm sorry, it is. Right? And unless in the next 5 months playing with Paqueta, you suddenly become like a Dimitri Payet at free kicks or something, you're not going to be getting further up the pitch. Yeah. So you might as well do it for West Ham, get us out of trouble, and then when you go next season, you'll know what you're doing. And then he gets the best out of the two alongside him.
Go on, Ross.
That's it is a good point, and actually, you're totally right. It's almost like we've accommodated, almost like not bowed down to Deck, but it was like he wanted to become more attacking. Yeah, no problems. No, but it's the detriment of the team, and actually today shows you when he's doing that. You look at someone like Yaya Toure. He wasn't technically he would make those lung busting runs from midfield that Deck can do. But you wouldn't say he was prolific, but he was one of the best CDMs ever in the Premier League. And I think that's what Declan can do. And I think today proved that actually, sit back. Just sit back. You've got it in your lock if you need it, but you're more valuable to the team being just defensive. You're more
I
Yeah.
wouldn't even say the team. I would say as a commodity in himself.
Yeah, fair play. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think a big player that really helped West Ham today as well was the energy and the drive from Pablo Fornals. He came back into the team today and he showed the determination, the right attitude, the chasing the ball, chasing every ball. He had a bit of creativity as well. But what he did was drive West Ham forward, which kept West Ham forward in moments where we could press and play the high press, because at the start we weren't really doing that. But I mean, I'm looking at his heat map now, and we'll obviously do a little bit of dissection over the next couple of days with regards to this game. But his heat map is all over the place, and he really was. He showed why and the reason why we've really missed a player like him. And I get it. People get pissed off because it maybe it's to the detriment of Ben Rama. Maybe him or Souček's inclusion is to the detriment of Ben Rama. But in theory, we've turned up today and just not got beat. That was we said it, didn't we, Russ, earlier on today? Like, just avoid defeat is the worst. I get it, and I get it. People are coming in there going, "This is the way it's going to be with West Ham." But if there's anything you want to do, we could have really gone for that tonight. We could have, and it could have gone either way. But I'm telling you now, if we'd have gone for it and got beat, it would be a disaster. It would have been a disaster.
Well, like I said, it stopped the rot.
Yeah,
that's the first thing. You can't change mentality and form from five losses out of 7 to straight away winning games. You need your building blocks. You need to slowly build up. So today we got a point. Next game, maybe we don't concede. We try and not concede goal. You try and get a clean sheet, and you build on it. And Fornals, I'll tell you what, he was instrumental in that result today. Yeah. Not just for the work rate, because like we said, for a lot of the game, and it was noticeable when he came off. Funnily enough, Paqueta and Scamacca come off, the energy and the pressing up the top half wasn't the same. Who come on? Benrahma come on, Antonio come on, and then was it Downs?
Yeah.
And the energy and the pressing on Leeds' defence just disappeared. But not only you get the energy out of Fornals and the work rate, he was actually linking up really well with Paqueta. Yeah. He was drifting all over the pitch. He made really good balls. I mean, was it in the first half or the second half? He put that ball in. Might be the first half. Paqueta ended up going around the goalkeeper and hit the side netting. Yeah. And Paqueta was about 35 yards out. Literally looks up at Fornals and just went. And Fornals just picked him out. Something we're not doing. It wasn't just a lobbed ball into the pitch. He actually played the pass 35 yards into his feet, or into his chest.
Russ, do you agree with this comment from Trini Hammer? The system was right, but the wrong player started.
Well, the left back.
Yeah, to be honest,
I think if you had the left back, if you had Ben Johnson in there or Cress, actually it might have been Emerson.
I'd say Johnson.
If you had Johnson in there, I think it would have made a hell of a difference. Really do. And I think that was the main issue. I think everyone else. I think it was the right game not to put Benny on. I thought because Fornals I thought he had a really good game. It's just his energy is infectious, and he was starting on the left. But as we said on the lunchtime show, he was on the left, but he was all over the bloody place. Fornals was, and I think it means you can double up on places. It means obviously you leave gaps, but you can double up elsewhere. No, I think apart from the Tilo Kehrer, I think the rest of the team was probably all right. Maybe Areola for Fabianski, as we said. But the system I thought was the right system today against Leeds.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. Leeds are lucky not to have had a man sent off over that Sefao incident. If you haven't seen it already, Sefao wins the ball off of Somerville. He wins, I think. No.
Well, it starts, doesn't it? It starts because Paqueta, it's right on the touchline, right in front of the dugout. And somehow they lose the ball, and Somerville goes to sprint away. Paqueta dives in on him, but misses him. And then Sefao, I'm pretty sure Sefao just stands there, and Somerville runs into him. I don't know if maybe Sefao raises a knee up or something to dig into him, try and give him a dead leg. But the ref just doesn't give anything. And then I think the ball goes back to West Ham. The ref plays on. Somerville absolutely loses it. Now, I think they were going to did it go out for a throw-in, or was it going to be passed to Sefao or something? But Sufao's off the pitch. Sufao's not on the pitch. He's off the pitch. And Somerville has gone studs first, just below the knee. And somehow, the commentators are like at the time, like, oh, we pulled out at the last minute, so, it's fine. They never showed a clear angle of the contact. VAR never got him to go look at it. And then, is it 5-10 minutes later, maybe about 10 minutes later, Soufal comes off, and you can see a foot imprint just below his knee, and you can see the cuts in his leg where each of the studs was, where he's basically lamped into him. Now,
But it was due to go off. Yeah.
I understand, but we done what other teams have been doing to us all season to Leeds today. We broke up the game. We were putting them niggly little fouls in, stop-start, and they were just getting more and more frustrated. The ref didn't have a particularly good game at all from anyone's standpoint. The big decisions for us he got wrong, and then all the little decisions for Leeds he kept getting wrong. Quite a lot of them. I mean, obviously at one point Jesse March got booked because quite clearly the ball was going out and the Leeds defender, literally right in front of the touchline, kicked it against Bowen. It went out for a throw-in, and the ref gave it to West Ham, and he was almost on the pitch arguing with the ref. But you've got to think with VAR, they've got to get the big decisions right.
Yeah.
And they clearly didn't get that one right. So I know you could maybe neutral say swing and balance that it balanced out because of decisions he made, but the fact is he wasn't even on the pitch. So regardless of whether you thought it was a red card, high tackle or not, he's literally gone and booted a player that wasn't on the pitch when the ball was out of play. That in alone is violent conduct. And then you see the damage that Soufal hobbled off on one leg, and you see where the stub marks are, which ripped the skin. He tore the skin. There's no way it should be anything but a red.
Yeah. Totally. Particularly as obviously, he was going to make the sub as well. He saw that, it was his knee and they're going to bring Crest straight on, and then they gave him another 10 minutes to stay on and hobble him out for a bit. But yeah, it was the intent. It was you knew exactly what he was doing. He was coming back for afters because he got fouled the second before, and I'm surprised he didn't get. I thought the ref wasn't very good at all today. Both teams, both sets of fans are singing "You're not fit to referee." That is,
well, I mean, look at the penalty.
The penalty. Yeah,
he's not joking when I say it is a stonewall penalty. The ball's come in from the left hand side. I think it was, I want to say 4 hours, and he's nowhere near offside. West Ham on the counter attack. He's nowhere near offside. Scamacca plays it out to him, and he cuts it back to Bowen. And now, I don't know if he mishits it, but it's on the blind side, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Bowen gets there on the blind side of the defender. Bowen knocks it into Paqueta's feet, but it's not. I don't think he intends to knock it into Paqueta's feet. He goes to control it, and he gets there in front of the defender. The defender just kicks his leg out. He literally kicks him in the ankle, just kicks his ankle out. Obviously, Paqueta lays it off to Fornals, and Fornals dragged it wide. And I'm thinking, all right, there was no advantage, it's a penalty. Ref was like, no, it's not. It was a goal kick. But it took 3 minutes. And he sat there for like 90 seconds staring at replays. And you're like, what are you looking at?
The same replay,
You can see from the first replay, first angle, he doesn't touch the ball. And I knew from early on the ref, he did not have, he just...
Yeah.
I think, is a 3 or 4 is the minimum you can give them if they turn up and they bring all their equipment? And I think from both standpoints, he should be getting that. And he should be like reffing the championship next week.
Yeah.
He's
not
officiating team.
Well, that guy, as Drainhole made a point. There was a lead sub on the pitch.
That was us trying to time waste. The ball.
I know, but he can't. But he can't enter the. He should have been yellow carded
on the pitch. Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's like
block Dawson because Dawson was trying to walk away with the ball.
Yeah. And Jesse Marsh strutting up and down the touchline like he was taking his ball home, lip quivering was my highlight of the match. He did walk off with the ball and then came back and just plonked it right on the floor, didn't he? It was quite funny.
I think that is the one I'm talking about, when it went out for a throw-in. Yeah. And it's just like, I'm closest than you are. And the thing is, you can see on the camera, because Bowen's shoulder to shoulder with a Leeds player, they're literally running along the centre line towards the dugout, and they get on the line and literally just taps it in Bowen's ankle. And you can see from where the ricochet of the ball that he had to have kicked it into Bowen. The ref was like, I don't know if he overruled the linesman or what, but he's like, that's West Ham throwing.
Very weird.
But listen,
a brave referee.
Scamacca. I mean, he's been desperately crying out for a goal for so long. I thought he had a really good game today. Actually, I thought his hold-up play was phenomenal. It was really good. He was winning fouls from nothing, dropping deep, collecting the ball. He gathers the ball from a mispassed back from the Leeds player. He must be anything between 25, 30 yards out. He smashes it low, but places it into the bottom right-hand corner. What a goal, Russ.
Oh, what a goal! I mean, and that's what you're going to get. He hasn't. He's it's not like we're it's something we're not don't think we're going to get because I mean, look at that shot he took against Brentford. He can smash it from anywhere really. We know that's what he brings to his game. He's a striker who can strike the ball anywhere really, and unlike Antonio, he hasn't scored any of his goals outside of the box. He's scored a few of his goals now outside the box, and as I said, it wasn't an easy shot to take at all. He's curled that in inch perfect, and it's clipped the bar as it's gone in. As I said, give him half a chance, and he'll get it on. He'll get it on target at least. And it was great. You could see straight afterwards that just the confidence the goal brings to it. I mean, he's still a young. He's only just turned 24, so he literally turned 24 last week, didn't he? So confidence. Getting a goal, he'll be strutting himself about, and the next game he'll be pushing defenders, and that's what we want. We want a guy, a bully. We need, I liken him to like a Marko Arnautovic in terms of the way he holds himself and the tattoos and just the physical stature. But you need to be confident to be able to do that, to bully people, and hopefully this will be the start of what we paid all that money for, and the same with Paqueta as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Matt?
My mind's just gone blank. I've just gone.
Scamacca. What's your thoughts on Scamacca?
I thought he had a good game. I thought he did. I thought he looked... I know in the watch along, some said in the first half, maybe he looked lost. I think he looked... not maybe out of confidence or maybe just frustrated because he knows he can get more than he was getting. But like I said, him, Paqueta, and Fornals, the three of them linked up really, really well throughout the game.
Yeah.
And they were the big driving point of our high pressing. And when the three of them come off, considering they come off with like 30 to 20, 15 minutes to go, the three guys that come on did not up the energy levels, That's what Leeds got from their subs. They done like-for-like subs.
Good point.
To re-energise the team. Whereas, I know down sat deeper, but Benrahma and Antonio look like they've been playing for 70 minutes when they came on the pitch.
Yeah.
They look knackered.
Yeah.
And something you're not expecting was the energy levels and the running of Scamacca, the high pressing. He's done very well. His hold-up play, for the most part, there's a few times there was long balls pinked up to him and he couldn't quite bring them down. But for the most part, there was times we were sitting there saying, balls being played into his feet or his chest. He had 2-3 players around him. And he'll still bring it down and laying it off or winning free kicks.
Yeah.
And like you said, and that's the difference between a centre forward.
Do you agree with that comment, though?
What one?
What comment?
Do you agree with that comment, though? Shouldn't have taken him off.
Yeah. I don't think he looked tired.
Yeah, I don't think... I totally agree. I don't think he looked... I think he was too quick.
I don't think he looked tired.
He was too quick to take him off.
I think Moyes thought, we need to freshen it up, so I'm taking him off, putting Antonio on. I know at the time the commentators were like, this game's going to be built for Antonio. Yeah. Maybe the last 15 minutes. Maybe the last 10 minutes.
I think it's been built for Antonio about 18 months ago. Honestly, I think he's half the player he was. I don't know what it is. He comes on and where I appreciate he's a Premier League top goal scorer of all time, but I just don't get him. I just don't get it now. He loses the ball all the time. He's always in the wrong position. I think with seeing someone like Scamacca play now,
now you realise what
an out striker, you know what you've got. And actually, he looks so much of a downgrade at the moment to Scamacca. I don't know if he's shot confidence or if he's carrying an injury or he's carrying more bulk.
He's nearly 34 now, isn't he?
That's what I mean.
Young,
yeah, and when your
the last
biggest
18
asset
months has caught up with him.
Yeah, totally agree.
Was his pace?
Yeah. And so once that goes, what's he got? Not much else.
Whereas like you see with Scamacca's not got blistering pace, but he's got the technical ability. He's got the hold-up play. He can lay off, play good passes, suck in 3-4 players, win a free kick, and then he could put the ball in the back of the net from 25 yards. Look at that goal, right? It was Leeds playing out the back. They played it in, I think it was Aronson, the holding midfielder. He's then gone to lay it off back to the defender. He's knocked it 3 or 4 yards wide. Scamacca, without touching it, has put himself in position to block off the defender, to turn it. He's looked up. He didn't take a touch.
Yeah. No,
25, 26 yards out. He just, with pace, on the instep, whips it around the defender and it goes in off the bottom of the post. Antonio will never score a goal like that in his life. And I think Scamacca scored 3 or 4 goals outside the box already this season.
Yeah, yeah.
And Antonio maybe has that one.
That one which was on the line, wasn't it?
Which was basically on the line against Brighton last year.
Yeah, totally. I just it doesn't baffle me because I know that's what Moyes does, but for me it's like it was.
He needs to get another centre forward. Like for me, right? If we do any business this window, we need a left back, and we need another centre forward.
Yeah,
we do any business.
Alan's got it here. You know, he doesn't offer much now. I'm afraid we need a second actual striker.
Yeah.
Actual striker being the word.
Even
Moyes
if you've
is not
got,
going to give him before.
You know what? Even if we can get someone in, and then move Antonio back out onto the wing.
Yeah, it's an option for
Let
Bowen.
him be an impact sub off. Let him be an impact sub on the wing.
That's where he spends most of the time anyway. Or
where he's got the direct running and the power.
What about Divine? You've got a good striker there. You've got a good striker there in form. If you're gonna play Scamacca 70 minutes, give the young lad 20 minutes to play. I like that as an idea. It's not going to happen, but we know I think it's a great idea. And hopefully Brentford, I think we'll get some minutes on Saturday.
There must be some sort of money available. Go and chuck 10, 15
by
million
all accounts, what we've been led to believe is he's been offered a striker to go out and buy a striker, and he said no. He's happy with what he's got. But
go and get Brereton Diaz from Blackburn.
Yeah.
And then go to the Championship or French Premier League or whatever, League One or whatever, and get a left back.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Get an actual left. If it's Championship, someone in the left back in the age bracket of 23 to 27.
Yeah.
Someone that can actually has mobility and knows how to defend, and get a centre forward. That's what he needs to do.
That would be nice.
Because then at least then you've got Kira, Soufal and Johnson between them can cover the right back. You know, they all got good stuff. They've all got negative and positive attributes that you can mould around what game you're playing. All out defensive, you play Johnson because he can't attack. You want a bit of balance, you play Kira. And if you want to go all out attack, you play Soufal. So you can balance it out that way, but you need a left back because Creswell was not the answer. We saw that from last week. And even today, all right, he didn't exactly get exposed. There was a couple of times, though, where he just got rolled too easily. He was only on the pitch for 15 minutes.
Well, listen, couple of last questions. And one of the big questions is, and I've been asked myself, Anton, am I still Moyes in? But the question I'll ask to you is Moyes saved his job a bit longer by that draw today?
Well, he might have got himself another 2 weeks.
Yeah, at the moment, yeah.
We got Brentford in the Cup, which I think he's going to bin off already. I think he'll put the European team out.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to care about it. And then is it Everton? Is it Everton after?
Wolves. Yeah, we got Wolves, then Everton.
Wolves. So that I think that will be it. I think if we lose, is it Wolves at home or Wolves? It'll be Wolves away, won't it?
Wolves away, then we've got Everton at home.
I think that will come down to it. Which is surprising considering the fact that before Christmas we were told he had to get 5 points from Brentford, Arsenal, and Leeds, and he got 1 point. You know, don't forget this month's important for us because we're playing Brentford, then we got Leeds, Wolves, and Everton. We've got 3 of the teams
and
in
Forest,
the bottom.
and we got Forest as well.
Yeah, you're playing 4 or 5 of the teams in the bottom 7, which is like our mini league. And so far, I suppose we played our first game in that mini league and we got 1 point.
Well, it's the same as Leeds. Leeds have got in the same situation in the mid-league. I think they're playing Everton, and I think they've got Southampton and someone else as well. So it's...
Well, I mean, they look like the team that might be in trouble. Southampton. They lost to Forest today.
They lost to Forest. I mean, look at Wolves as well. You know, I mean, where you've got Villa's had the bounce with Unai, Lopetegui hasn't really done it at Wolves yet, has he? And he's had the whole bloody what's name as well. He's had the whole 6 weeks.
There, yeah.
You know, when everyone was saying, "Oh, bring a manager in over 6 weeks," oh, that's what he needs. Wall's done fuck all as well. Emery's done
Yeah.
great, but Wall's done fuck all. Nathan Jones, the
has-
same thing.
It has split
Southampton.
now. It is basically anything up to Leicester at the moment.
Yeah, at the moment, yeah.
13th down. We're out of it on goal difference from Everton. You know, good old Frank taking a drubbing yesterday. But that is what we're at the moment. We're one goal better off than Everton because they got spanked yesterday by Brighton.
Yep. That last goal, though, was in the last goal when it was the pass back.
That was a prime West Ham Pellegrini goal.
Yeah.
Everton's free kick, 25 yards out, crossed it in, and like 7-8 seconds later, it was in the back of Everton's net.
Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
If you are watching,
but no, you know what? It's
you've
positive. There's positives
West Ham
for today.
draw. Oh, there you go.
Yep. Yeah, it's positive. It is positive. There is some positivity coming out of it.
Yeah.
Then obviously, we know there's going to be negativity. The fact is, people wanted us to win.
We conceded goals.
We made mistakes. But you know.
But there is something there. You can see there's something there.
Yeah.
At least going forward.
Yes.
You know what? If we're going to concede goals, just do what Leeds did under Bielsa. Just high pressing, all out attack. If we concede goals, let's just try and score more than the opposition.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
If you are watching tomorrow, DJ Rossi B, you're back doing your player ratings. Is that right?
Player ratings tomorrow, lunchtime. Yep.
Oh yeah.
I will now. Yep.
Are you going to give everyone Are you going to give people a voice? Are people going to get a voice on the show tomorrow? Are they?
Maybe. Yeah, probably.
Maybe. You get a chance if you want to. You can ring in.
Maybe.
I've got to write my review first, right, and then I'll see if I'm going to go on a rant. Then no, but I don't think I'm going to go on a rant tomorrow. Yeah.
So make sure you do join DJ Rossi B tomorrow. 5 things you learned about the Leeds United West Ham draw. I think you can probably name 3 or 4 of them right now, but we'll hold that off for the show when that comes out. When it comes on tomorrow as well. Yeah. I don't know if any of you lads want to keep on saying anything else or whatever, but I could be doing with them head.
No, I think I think in the words of our recently departed chairman, go to bed. Go to bed now.
Yeah.
Go to bed.
Yeah.
Bless him.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so obviously we pay it. We have done pay our condolences to the Gold family. It was quite poignant, I thought, today when they kept on going back up and seeing, we know, regardless of your views on the owners, he was someone's dad, he was someone's granddad, he was someone's mate as well. And you saw, obviously, Mr. Sullivan looked really quite upset today with the shirt and the flowers, and it was quite poignant, I thought. But when it comes to it, there's sometimes some things more important than football. I know it's hard to think of it sometimes, but there are. And and obviously we'll be paying our tributes at the club for the Everton game.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, thank you for watching. A point away from home. It's not the best result. It's not the worst result. It's middle of the ground, but as we said, stop the rot. It stopped the rot. And that's exactly what we needed to happen. So, wishing all our, paying all our respects to the Gold family, and fingers crossed West Ham can start taking this as a positive somehow and push forward and get some points and move up the league. That's all we want.
Nice.
That's all we want. Yeah,
would be nice.
Right,
be nice.
I'm heading. Matt, anything you want to say?
No, you said just build on it's building block. Positive to take on to whatever the next game is.
Brentford
Try and
at the
improve
FA.
on it.
Brentford on the FA Cup.
Forget that. Write that off.
Wolves
What's the next game?
week.
Wolves
next
away.
week. Yeah.
Take some points to build on for Wolves away.
There we go. Thank you to all our lovely
All right, last words with you,
channel
Rusty
members.
B.
I was about to say thank you to all our lovely channel members, subscribers, all our family and friends, lovers and haters, and also to all our channel sponsors and partners. So take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, and keep the faith. Keep the faith.